Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sense of Things with Ron and Jeff here. Another week of fun, frolicking, and a little bit of economics and in the stock market just for the fun of it. Today, on today's show, Ron and I got some similar things that we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss a little bit about credit card spending. We're going to talk about consumer spending. In addition to that, the jobs market. We'll have a little bit of a coverage on the Fed and what we saw last week, a little bit of Nvidia earnings today, and a couple of current events. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back on in just 1 second. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Ron, how are you, my friend?
Good. I'm having fun. You're probably frolicking. I don't know. But I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Monday is September 1st.
It is freaking crazy. We're rolling into the last third of the year at this point, and I feel like I've not accomplished anything that I had planned to so far.
And based on, let's just say 7 months, it feels like we're in year 6 of the Trump presidency.
Yes, we've moved at that pace, that's for sure.
Yep. All right, where would you like to start?
Why don't we kick off with you? You got some fun stuff to talk about, and then I'll follow in behind you.
All right, I'm going to try to do this every now and then, but this past week in history, 1897, Oldsmobile first manufactured in the Olds Motor Vehicle in Lansing. I didn't know this. I never knew it was stolen, but the Mona Lisa was stolen in 1911 in regard. And I always thought about this with the art thieves. Where are they going to sell this stuff? They're not. They can't sell it.
If there's only one of them.
You're not going to fence fine art.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. All right.
The funny part is that there's that one museum in Boston, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, and there was 3 paintings that were stolen out of there. And they were very famous paintings and stuff like that. What do you do with them? So some weird rich guy's got these in a vault someplace that only he can look at. It's just, I don't get it.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just in case you like Bambi, Bambi was released in 1942.
I like Bambi. Bambi was cool, man. Bambi and Dumbo, my two favorites.
Hawaii became the 50th U.S. state.
Okay.
Crazy was released by Patsy Cline, which was written by Willie Nelson. A lot of people
I did not know Willie wrote it.
That's you didn't know that?
No, okay. I didn't know Willie wrote it. That was back in the day when he was wearing the weird cowboy outfit.
I think that was his first famous song he wrote. Dirty Dancing was released in theaters. All the ladies 87? Like that.
Nice. I thought it was actually earlier than that, but yeah.
And it's hard to believe it's only 29 years that the first commercial commerce type browser was released.
And doesn't even exist.
Well, 3.0 was released before that, but 3.0 was like their major overhaul because it was starting to really gain traction in 95. And 3.0 had a lot of the big features, and I think that's when Microsoft went apeshit to kill them with their browser.
Yeah, and gave their browser away for free, or just basically forced everybody to use it on the Microsoft.
And if I remember, I think Netscape was charging $80 to $100 for theirs, and Microsoft was free. And obviously, the first couple of versions of Microsoft, it was brutal. It wasn't even anything close to Netscape, but people will take free over something else, even if it just does a little bit for them.
It makes me laugh though. It's okay. Everything for me is the Google organism. And I just told you I switched computers, and it's so funny with the brand new Microsoft computer. It's like, hey, you could be using Edge. It runs on the same technology as Chrome, and I'm like, I don't want it. Okay, stop trying to force it on me.
And a lot of the apps run not only better on Chrome, run better meaning more faster and efficient, but apparently it's got other security hooks or whatever that Microsoft is just susceptible. The Edge is just susceptible to all the viruses.
Yeah, but we keep upgrading or updating all the time. Please stop updating.
And just in time for holiday weekend, we want to know all the cities that have the highest DUIs. So I don't know why Omaha has the highest, but I got to tell you, Chicago, the lowest? With all the crime they've had there in the last 10 years and everything going on, I
That's the
can't
one
believe it's
crime that
lower.
isn't happening in Chicago. There you go. But you got to
Yeah,
figure
maybe
if you're
nobody's
living
going to
in
the
the
bars in
city,
Chicago. That could be
yeah,
true.
if you're living in the city, you don't drive. People drive from outside the city in, but yeah, very few people in the city drive. They take the subways or Ubers or whatever because it's a nightmare to drive in.
Yep. And Philadelphia is 0.66, one of the
Nice.
lower ones. And Austin's 1.34, but Phoenix, I guess this makes sense because we got bars on every corner, man. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what time of the year, people are drinking and eating here. It just, there is no consumer slowdown here in the Phoenix Scottsdale
Well,
area.
in Austin, I would say there's more DUIs from people smoking weed than drinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then, of
they're the
course,
ones that are
of course, you
driving
got the combination.
really slow.
Oh, good. All right. This is a few weeks old, but these are the cities with the highest price
Hmm.
cuts to housing listings.
Okay.
Denver surprised me. Phoenix is always up there because
Hmm.
whenever they have a hot market, they always overbuild anyway.
Yeah, they
But I thought this
overbuild, and
was
then you have all the
interesting.
Californians coming in and buying rental real estate and everything else.
And San Jose doesn't surprise me because of the mass exodus out of California,
Yep.
especially from Silicon Valley moving here in Texas.
Mhm.
So people are trying to get the hell out of there because I
Yeah,
know the taxes up there is some of the worst in the country next to Connecticut.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
and Connecticut prices declining there.
that's because they're
New
moving over
York, I think that,
lot,
yeah,
lot of big.
New York, I bet is going to be up here if they vote in the doofus that's winning the race right now.
There's no way that could happen. Listen, I used to love going in the city
Yep.
for years. When I lived, it was a train ride in for me.
Yeah.
And since COVID, or even a little bit before COVID, you couldn't pay me to go there. I miss it, but it's not worth it.
Yeah. I have no interest in the slightest of going to New York City.
No. And then this came out a couple of weeks ago. This is week over week change.
Yeah, there
And
we
I
go.
thought there were four standouts to me because it's summertime. People love to do work on their house and they love to
Yep.
travel.
Yeah.
And here we are, airlines consistently down. Gas prices are down. Why aren't people traveling more?
Mhm.
Entertainment, summertime. Why aren't people entertaining more? And I don't understand it. People love to do home projects, especially during the summer.
Yeah.
This was shocking to me. I can't tell you. Look, how many times have we said, hey, this could be a catalyst, but
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you see it, and I can tell you from just booking a trip for my anniversary again for the fall. Man, I tell you what, lodging prices have not come down. We're
still
going
high.
yeah, we're going to Boston, and just finding we weren't staying in Boston, but we're staying there like the night we come in, and then the night the night before we leave, and I'm like, man, cheapest hotel that I can find that wasn't a disaster area was like $450 a night. I'm like, you are insane, guys.
I've gone up there for business a few times over the years.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. New York,
It is.
Boston, and San Francisco are the three
Yep.
highest in the
Yeah,
country.
it is always expensive, but it is off the chart because we go pretty much once a year and it is off the charts
And you're
expensive.
not even in the room 2/3 of the time.
No, of course not. Yeah, we are because we're old, man. We get up early and then we're home, but we're back at the hotel by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
All right. And my last one, I love this. Of course, good artists create, great artists steal. So I wanted to borrow this chart. Sam Rowe did this one that even if you bought at the all-time high,
yeah.
as long as time is on your side, you're still going to make money. So again, this kind of goes into, I tell clients, don't look at your accounts every day or even once a week sometimes because it's not a video game. Once or twice a month, but once or twice a quarter, you should.
Yeah.
But you don't do knee-jerk reactions. And if you take a look at the last 15 years, every dip was a buy, no matter where we were.
Yeah. And it's time in the market, not timing the market in a lot of cases.
Yep. All right. What do you got?
All right, let's get in here real quick. Some similarities, I will say. But let me share this as a slideshow here so we can see the whole thing. All right. So this week was a lot of fun because we got to see
Yay.
the wonderful brains that run Cracker Barrel just completely destroy value. Cracker Barrel, if you haven't heard the story, it's been everywhere. If you haven't heard the story, they have decided, or their CEO, their brilliant CEO decided, you know what, we just need to completely rebrand. That's why the company is not doing well. So we need to completely rebrand. So they decided to change their logo, take out the old guy with the barrel, and it's just this boring logo. We're going to repaint the insides, bright colors, and that's going to get more people coming in. What they ended up doing was literally driving 147,000 or $147 million of value away from the company in one single day. If you didn't see this on Facebook, it was everywhere. And within about 4 or 5 days, they realized what a stupid mistake they had made and flip-flopped and caved in, going back to what it was before and everything else. But it's funny, as I told Ron, I feel like it's like watching an alcoholic not realize that the problem is them. If you've gone to Cracker Barrel over the last several years, it is a lot of times inconsistency in service. Food quality has sucked, and nobody wants to be, once again, told what to do. Just make good food, serve me well, incent your people to serve me well, and guess what? You'll make lots of money.
I'll tell you a couple of quick things. Number one, whenever you get a new CEO or sales are flat to negative, they always feel like we got to rebrand. Why? You don't have to rebrand. Number two, if they didn't make an announcement about the logo and they just rolled it out, nobody would have noticed, I think. That's two. But number three, I'm going to give you two other quick examples. It's, remember 40 plus years ago, we did this a couple months ago about bad business decisions. 40 plus years ago, Coke said, oh, you know what? Our sales are flat. We're going to make new Coke. How did that work out? And even the CEO admitted,
it didn't work so well.
Hey, it worked out for us because we got all this PR. They went back to the old Coke, the classic Coke for a while it was called, and they did well. And the last thing I wanted to bring up was a couple of years ago, they did it as a stunt to draw attention. Remember IHOP went to Cobb, like the International House of Burgers, and it was a total stunt. They only did it for a month, and they went back. And it wasn't because it was like going to be a legitimate change. They just did it as a PR stunt.
Of course they did. Yeah, which this wasn't a PR stunt in any way, shape, or form, but it's like they just don't even understand who their audience is. And it drives me crazy with some of these companies that feel like we'll get a broader swath of people coming in. I'm like, if you go to a Cracker Barrel, at least by me, I don't know if it is in other parts of the country. If I go to a Cracker Barrel on a Sunday, there are African-American people, white people, Hispanics, families, individuals, old guys sitting in the corner drinking coffee. It is a complete swath of the entire community. That is not the problem. The problem is you went from food that filled a plate to there's a lot of white space on that plate, and it's like they're scared to raise prices just a little bit to compensate for that. But it's inconsistency with food, which it's been for the last 3 to 4 years.
But Jeff, honestly, I'm not going to decide to go to a place because of its logo. I was more PO'd about them getting rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben.
I know. Same thing. It's
who cares? It's not racist. God damn it. I'm still going to buy the Actually, you know what? I still have some of the syrups with the Aunt Jemima on it because I went out and bought 3 of them. But you know how long syrup lasts?
Yeah, I know. In my house, it lasts a little bit longer. Okay.
What do you got?
Travis and TayTay getting married. Well, who freaking cares? I don't care at all.
Everybody's doing an over-under how long it's going to last.
I know. Speculation around Taylor Swift. Their engagement has become hyped and it is influencing the prediction markets. So not just that, but even rippling into stock discussions and everything else. So apparently now it's a new audience for the TayTay fans out there that are getting involved in the stock side of things. All right. Irrational exuberance, Chinese style. So
you got to show your screen.
In a twist of irrational exuberance,
Jeff, you got to show your screen.
Oh, it may catch up. Hang on. Can you see it?
No.
Weird. Okay, let me get back here. Let me share one more time. How's that?
There we go.
Okay.
Rational exuberance.
Rational exuberance, Chinese style. So in a twist of irrational exuberance, Chinese stock market is surging. What the heck is surging with small investors using credit cards to pile into the Chinese stock
Hey,
market?
wait till they hit our levels of debt on credit cards.
There we go. Yeah, they're just trying to catch up with us at this point. All right, the Dow hits a record high for the first time in 2025 last Friday after Powell's speech, which I listened to it and I'm like, I don't really hear what he's saying. Once again, people hear what they want to hear or whatever, but expecting rate cuts going into 2026. So the market went crazy, and then now they've got something else to worry about this week. But we had one heck of a run there and a big market day up. Yesterday, Nvidia reported earnings, and is AI starting to get a little bit ahead of itself? Nvidia earnings were great. They were off the charts, better than they were the previous quarters and the previous year. However, we're starting to see some sales growth slowing and profit margins fading. And so
You can only grow double-digit growth for so long.
Yeah, I know. And can only be the most valuable company in the world for a small period of time. That said, investor in Nvidia, clients in Nvidia, it's still the best chip company that I can see that's out there.
Well, look, if you remember, this happened during the dot-com. What were two of the big, most valuable companies in the late 90s and the beginning of 2000s? It was Intel and Cisco. What happened to them in the last 25 years?
Intel, we're taking a stake in it as a country for some strange reason. I don't know why, but I guess it's better than sending bailouts.
Because that's how we're going to get our money back.
Yeah, because instead of just dumping money into the CHIPS Act and
basically what they did was they converted a grant, or they converted a grant of money to equity, which has never been done in history.
It's fine. It has been done before because we invested in GM when it was going bankrupt. So it's been done before. It's just.
Did we have a stake in it?
Yeah, we had a stake in it, and then we ended up selling that to the union at that point. After they worked out all the stuff, we ended up selling it to the union, and the union owns a big stake in GM at that point. Yeah, it was a big, messy, ugly thing. Are we starting to see a little bit more CEO confidence? Business activity picked up and accelerated here in August, driven by manufacturing with the strongest order growth in 18 months, offering a positive counter to slowdown fears. However, what we're seeing, though, is consumer spending slowing down, partly with what Ron talked about with credit card debt and everything else. But we're seeing consumer spending slow down, and we're starting to see the labor market weaken. So the Fed better get on the ball here pretty quick. And this whole wait and see approach is, I think they're going to be, as always, behind the eight ball because they're driving at 60 miles per hour looking out the back window. Last but not least, there's not going to be any help from the housing market. We talked about that with Ron. Housing market optimism for recovery is pretty overblown. You're seeing prices in some of the markets go down, but I'll give you an example. Here in Austin, prices have been static, and people are, it's funny because I've got a lot of realtor friends, and people are just adamant about, I have to get this price for my house. And I think part of that is, and I've said this all along, all these people that moved here to Austin and paid stupid money for houses, came here from California, that are now having to relocate, and they want to try and get their money back, and it's just not going to happen.
Now, as a matter of fact, I had the other slide on it about price drops with listings.
Yeah.
Until mortgage rates are under 6, but in the mid to low 5s, which could take another year. Remember, we did a 1 full point cut in Fed rate, and it had a little knee-jerk reaction to the downside with mortgage rates, but we went right back up to the high 6s again. I don't understand it. I heard that the mortgages are more tied to the 10 and the 30-year treasury than it is the Fed rate, which is fine. Even all of them have come down. And I think that with the banks, and I don't want to really give my true opinion, I think that they don't want the mortgage rate to go down for a while because they're going to lose money, even though it would be a refi boom and it would help the economy because
Yeah.
people take money out of that and spend it.
Yeah. And I look at it as just an example here in Austin, you've got our market went through the freaking roof from 2020 to 2024, and it's been flat to nothing. But we haven't seen the price cuts here because we still have people moving into the area, and our inventory, they're just not building as much. The problem is they built a lot, but like Austin, there's no property really to build new stuff. There's no new inventory. So you have to go into the outer areas like where I live, and they're just not building as much right now. They're building
They have a lot of new housing and people are coming in buying cash. It's the people with the existing houses that want to move but they're either locked into a sub 3 rate or they can't get the buyers. There's a lot of stuff that's been on the market here for a while. It's been ticking up, so we'll have to monitor and see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I look at it as we've still got a long way to go, and this is definitely a bit of a challenge that we're going to face, I think, for quite a while. And I think we're going to face this. I honestly, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but I really sense that I think people have finally gotten to the end of the rope when it comes to spending at this point, and nothing is really going to help. And then if you have any kind of further slowdown in the jobs market, it's going to crash.
It's a slow trickle right now in the jobs market. We would have to see some type of a spike, and there has to be a catalyst for that. I don't see anything right now in the short term.
Yeah, I see it from the construction perspective. Construction jobs, if you're an electrician, a plumber, anything like that, you can work as much as you want at this point because there's just more work than they have plumbers and electricians. But other than that, especially I think in the tech space, it's definitely going to be a challenge because I hear my tech recruiters that work in my office here by me, and they're still recruiting, but it's not at the pace that they were doing it a year ago by any means.
I know several people, engineers, pharmaceutical, whatever, they're having a very tough time getting a job right now.
Yeah. Yep. All right, folks. Ron, great week. Look forward to what happens this week. It's always fun. But we've also got a holiday coming up. So we'll have a Labor Day coming up this week. So everybody enjoy your last days of summer. And we get back to the fall. And amazingly, the next time we talk to you, we're going to be in the month of September, 9 months in. And this year has flown so fast. It's amazing.
Yep. I hear you. All right. Until then, have a good holiday weekend.
All right, guys. Have a good week, and we will see you back here the very next time.